KeezhvAnam.
Ready and just. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyah. नीळातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटे सुप्तमुद्बोध्य कृष्णं पारार्थ्यं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरःसिद्धमध्यापयन्ती स्वोच्छिष्ठायां सृजनिगलितं यावलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः आण्डाळ् तिरुवडिगले शरणम्. So today we will discuss the eighth Pasuram. கீழ்வானம் வெள்ளென்ன எருமை சிறுவீடு மேவான் பரந்தனகான் மிக்குள்ளப் பிள்ளைகளும் போவான் போகின்றாரை போகாமல் காத்து உன்னை கூவுவான் வந்து நின்றோம் கோதுகுடம் உடைய பாவாய் எழுந்திராய் பாடிப்பறை கொண்டு மாவாய் பிளந்தானை மல்லரை மாட்டிய தேவாதி தேவனை சென்று நாம் சேவித்தால் ஆவாயன் ராராயின் தருளேலோர் எம்பாவாய். So this is the Pasuram for today. We will actually go ahead. Napinaji, would you like to sing?
Here's one. I'll try.
Adiyan, please go.
நிர்வாணம் வெள்ளென்று எருமை சிறு வீடு கீழ்வானம் வெள்ளென்று எருமை சிறு வீடு மெய்வா பரந்தனகான் மிக்குள்ள பிள்ளைகளும் போவான் போகின்றார் போகாமல் காத்து உன்னை போவான் போகின்றாரே போகாமல் காத்து உன்னை கூவுவான் வந்து நின்றோம் கோது களமுடைய பாவாயழு தீராய் பாடி பறை கொண்டு மாவாய் பிளந்தானை மல்லரை மாட்டிய தேவாதி தேவனை தேவாதி தேவனை சென்று நாம் சேவித்தான் ஆவாய்ந்து ஆவாய்ந்து அருளேலோர் எம்பாவாய். திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
Andal Tiruvadagale Sharanam. Okay. So we will get started with this Pasuram. So each day our Goda Devi is showing how to take shelter of a certain kind of Gopika. Right? That means each of these Gopikas, one perspective is that each of these Gopikas represent a certain aspect of Acharya Tattvam that one needs to take shelter of as one approaches Paramatma. Right? Approaching Paramatma has always to be with the shelter of Bhagavatas. Right? Paramatma cannot be approached by ordinary samsaris like all of us without the shelter of a Bhagavata. So one has to always take shelter of a Bhagavata. A certain kind of Bhagavatas display so many attributes, so many traits. So all the qualities that are there in Bhagavatas are actually glorified in these Pasurams 6 through 15. Right? So here Andal, she begins with KeezhvAnam vellu endru. That means Vanam means the sky, Keel means on the eastern side, Vellendru, it has become white. So she is indicating that the sky on the eastern side is gradually becoming whiter and whiter. It's becoming brighter and brighter. So that's the first thing that she's saying. Then Erumai Siruveedu Meivan Parandanahan. This is the other thing she is saying. You just see, behold, Khan, that Erumai Siruveedu Meivan Parandana, that all these buffaloes, Erumai, Siruveedu, they are let out for a short time in the morning before the buffaloes are milked. Before the buffaloes are let out to graze on their own, right? For a short period of time, the buffaloes are let out so that they can graze on a certain amount of grass, and then they'll be in a good position to be milked. That's when they are milked out, and then they are sent out so that they can freely graze for the rest of the day. Okay, Maivan, to graze on the grass. Parandana. So even if you look at the buffaloes, they are spread out right now, right? That means already they are let out. So this is another indication of dawn that she is talking about, right? Even today, apparently, so just like in the previous pasurams, where Andal has indicated certain signs of dawn, right? Like the chirping of birds, the sounds that are heard in the temple, right? And then different bhagavatas singing the names of the Lord, like Hari Hari early in the morning. All these are certain indications that she is giving that it is morning. So here also apparently it seems like she is coming up with some more indications, right? So today's indications are KeezhvAnam vellu. That means first thing that she is saying is the sky is becoming brighter and brighter, right? The eastern side is where we see, where the sun rises, right? So the rising of the sun is gradually bringing down the darkness of the sky on the eastern side. So that is the side where first light starts appearing, right? Next, Erumai, Shiruvid, Meivan, Parandana. So this is the other thing that she is saying, that all the buffaloes are let out. So they are also starting to graze on the grass, right? Another symptom that it is morning. மிக்குள்ள பிள்ளைகளும் போவான் போகின்றாரே போகாமல் காத்து உன்னை கூவுவான் வந்து நின்றோம். So மிக்குள்ள பிள்ளைகளும், even the remaining girls, the remaining young girls, போவான் போகின்றாரே போகாமல் காத்து. So these girls were so happy that they were going. They were actually proceeding on the path of, reaching Krishna to get their parai, but they have been stopped by us, right? We have stopped those girls from going. Then this girl might ask, the Gopika today, right? She is inside a certain door. Now she might ask, why did you stop those girls? And she is saying to call you. We all came and Unnai Kuvuvan, to call you. Vandan in Rome. We came here and we are standing, waiting outside your door. So that's what she is saying. That even other girls who are very happy that they were just going to meet Krishna, all of them have been stopped by us, and we brought all those girls at your doorstep, and all of us are waiting for you. So you please come out, right? This is what is being told here. Then Kodagalam Udaya Pavai Edundirai means, Kodagalam Udaya Pavai means two meanings actually. Oh, girl who has a lot of eagerness to see Krishna, that is one meaning. The other meaning is, oh, girl who Krishna is very eager to see. Right? So today's Gopika is very special, right? Such a Gopika that even Krishna himself is eager to see this particular girl. Okay, we will try to understand why. Edindarai, please get up, right? This is what they are saying. Please come out of meditation and give us your shelter. So whenever there is an indication, they are saying, get up, get up, get up. It is a meaning that these Bhagavatas, all the Bhagavatas that we are going to discuss in these 10 Pasurams, they're actually in deep state of meditation, and Andal is indicating, you please come out of that meditation and please shelter us, right? You please stand in front of us. So we want to keep you in front and proceed to Krishna so that, we maximize our chance of getting his grace. Then she might ask, what will I do by coming there? That question might exist. So she's saying, Padi parai kondo. By singing, let us all obtain the parai, right? Padi parai kondu. By singing about him, let us obtain the parai from him. Parai is that instrument that is used to perform the vratam, right? We discussed about this. Then, one might ask, okay, we all go there, then what is the guarantee that Lord will actually shelter us? What is the guarantee that Lord will provide the shelter to us? Is he really capable of doing all these things? Some of those concerns are being addressed here. Mavai Pidandanai, Mallarai Mattiya, Devadi Devanai, Sendranam Sevittal. So these are the three things that are being told here. What are they? First thing that is told is Mavai Pidandanai. Mavai means big mouth. Big mouth of whom? Keshi. There is a certain demon called Keshi. Okay. Pidandanai. The mouth of that demon was split. That is how Krishna killed that particular demon. Right? Mallarai Mattiya. he has subdued the wrestlers. He has vanquished the wrestlers, right? Who is this person? He is none other than, if at all we are doubting that he may just be a performer of some ordinary feats, there are several people who are capable of doing these things, right? Even our, movie heroes and so on, we see that they defeat so many, people and so on, right? So even such things exist in our ordinary world, right? There are people who are very powerful, who are capable of defeating others. What is the guarantee that they themselves will not be defeated by somebody else? Right? This question might exist in our heart, right? It is okay. We are taking shelter of a very powerful person after observing certain things about them, right? They are capable of doing so many things. Great. But what is the guarantee that someone more powerful than them will not come in the future, who is capable of subduing even them? These things have happened in the history of time, right? Many such things have happened in the history of time. There were so many very, at one point, the Russian Empire was very powerful, right? And it is no longer that powerful. Once upon a time, Rome ruled the world. Now, Rome is literally nothing. Once upon a time, the British ruled the entire world. Today, they are nothing, right? In this way, different, empires occupied and ruled the entire world at one point. That means different emperors. At one point in time, people like Hitler and all these things, or different Julius Caesar, so many such people, I'm talking about recent history, but Alexander, even several, Islamic rulers in our country, and even different rulers. They have all been powerful at different points, but eventually time consumed all of them. Someone more powerful came, they defeated them, and everything collapsed. Their entire empire collapsed. So, what is the guarantee that that might not happen with Krishna, right? Then there is another indication they are providing that he is Devadi Devan, that he is the god of even the chief of gods like Brahma, Rudra, and Indra. So, there is no question that somebody else more powerful can even exist, right? He is the one who is Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, says the Vedam. That the nature of the Supreme Being is that Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram. Right? Svedasvatara Upanishad says this. Tam Devatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam. This is the nature of the Supreme Being. So nowhere it is being told in the Vedas that there is something equal to or greater than him. Natat samascha abhyadikascha drishyate. Right? This is another characteristic, that there is no other entity in the entire universe that is either equal to or greater than him, right? And he is the higher than all the higher devatas and higher overlords of the entire universe, the various controllers. So that is being indicated by Devadi Devan. So, Nam Sevittal, such a person, Chandra, approaching such a person, if we serve Nam Sevittal, then what will happen? Ava என்று ஆராய்ந்து அருள். So, என்று. He will think, ayyo, these people are serving. Out of a lot of compassion, he will say, ஆராய்ந்து. Looking at our sufferings, right? All the effort that we put to come to him, he sees and becomes very compassionate. Then, Arul, he is going to show his grace on us. Okay, Elor Empavai. This is our vratam. Please consider our vratam of this nature. This is what the Gopikas are saying. Now, we will try to understand the deeper meanings of each of these. The first thing that, Andal is saying here is KeezhvAnam vel endru. That means the sky is becoming brighter and brighter as the sun is rising. So, this is an indication that as Paramatma and knowledge about Paramatma is increasing in our hearts, the Rajo and Tamo gunas, right? The darkness of the sky usually engulfs the entire not entire place, right? Entire place. That entire place is engulfed by darkness. But as the sun starts rising, gradually the darkness subsides and then brightness starts appearing. So initially, when we are in a state of complete ignorance, right, we are filled with Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Rajas means dust, right? If we ever go to a place like a desert or something, right, and if there are horses and camels and all these things that are running, there is a lot of dust that comes up. In that dust we cannot see anything clearly, right? Rajoguna is like that. It means faintly something is visible, but we cannot clearly see the nature of such things. This is the nature of Rajoguna. Rajoguna means there is always certain lack of clarity. There is always certain confusion with respect to things. We cannot clearly perceive what is what at all times. Okay, sometimes they are visible, sometimes they are not visible, sometimes certain portions are visible, certain portions are not visible. This is how jnana and rajoguna will be. Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about the nature of rajoguna, right? And this rajoguna is nothing but it is characterized by so many bad qualities like greed, pride, envy, lust, anger, right? So many such bad qualities exist which will cloud our knowledge, our understanding of reality, right? Because we will constantly be taken over by these emotions, right? These are the dust that keep on rising in the form of rajoguna. Okay, so when such rajoguna subsides, when does that rajoguna subside? As jnana increases in our heart, the rajoguna subsides. Tamoguna, what is the nature of tamoguna? Tamoguna means complete darkness. Nothing is visible. That is the nature of tamas. Okay. Rajoguna, at least some things are visible. Tamoguna means nothing is visible. Nothing is visible means the understanding of different things is always the opposite. It is never right even once. Even accidentally, it is not correct. In Rajoguna, at least, sometimes, if not at other times, we may perceive the truth. Sometimes we may feel like acting, right? In Rajoguna, when we are in Rajoguna, sometimes, we all make determinations, so many resolutions. New Year is coming, let's say. Starting New Year, I'm going to, go to the gym every day. I'm going to do something every day. In this way, we make so many resolutions, right? So in Rajoguna, people begin those resolutions, but they cannot keep them. There is no sustenance of them, right? The sustenance happens in Sattvaguna. Anything remains, that firmness, stability of things happens in Sattvaguna. The nature of Rajoguna is that things are never firm or stable. There is always ups and downs, okay? Tamoguna, it's always down. There is never a question of up. So, what is being indicated here is that awakening of knowledge. So, previously, if we see in the previous two Pasurams, Pasuram 6 and 7, yesterday we were, focusing on this particular word, Kettilayo. Andal says that thrice in the previous two Pasurams, right? She says, haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? In this way, she keeps saying, Kettilayo, Kettilayo, Pepenne. In this way, she keeps saying. That means the first step in the process of upasana is Shravanam. Even this point we learned yesterday, right? First step is Shravanam. If we don't even hear about these things, where is the question of developing a certain frame of mind? Where is the question of preparing ourselves? Where is the question of conducting the right way? Where is the question of taking right steps in our life? None of these will happen. The foundation for all of this is hearing. So hearing has to happen first. So that is the first step in the process of upasana, right? Any process, right? About anything. The first thing is hearing. Hearing is what develops a certain knowledge in us, develops a certain interest in a certain thing, right? It makes us move towards the other thing. So that is hearing. So one has to hear scriptures. Hearing is of three different kinds. That is hearing scriptures, that is first thing. Second thing is making inferences. Not everything that we hear, do we know what the Devaloka looks like? We don't know. So we hear and we make inferences that, oh, this is how it could be, probably, right? Or do we know what Atma Tattva is? We have to infer, right? Paramatma Tattva, Atma Tattva, based on the characteristics, we have to infer. We have to make our own visualizations, right? Nobody can draw things for us. Certain things can only be inferred, they cannot be visualized. If someone says a pen in a class, we can clearly visualize it. But if someone talks about a creature or a thing or an entity that we have never heard or never seen, we can only visualize based on how they are describing it, right? Depends upon the best ability of the person who is speaking and the best ability of the person who is visualizing. So, first thing in hearing is hearing scriptures. Second thing is making inferences. Third thing is after these two happen, we try to obtain a proper upadesham from a guru, and then we start practicing that. Okay, these are the three phases in hearing. Things such as chirping of the birds and so on, we can clearly visualize, we can clearly see. So this is one thing. Then things such as the sounds of the conch and what is happening inside the temple, Andal was describing, right? that the sound of the conch is happening, and then they are calling people, right? You all wake up. And then she also talks about hearing certain sounds, that the gopis are churning, their bangles are clanging against each other, and so on. So all of this has to do with inference, visualization, right? And then people who are uttering the names of Hari, Hari, Narayana, Keshava, in this way, different names. All these are like Upadesham from Guru. So when these three aspects of hearing are done, then Shravanam is complete in a certain sense, right? Because we did everything we can with respect to gaining knowledge. Then the second phase begins. The second phase is Mananam. The stage one is Shravanam, hearing. Second phase is Mananam or meditation, practicing, Abhyasa, right? We have to practice what we hear. We have to repeatedly keep recollecting such things. Okay, this is what I heard from my guru. This is what I read in the scriptures. This is how I visualized that thing. In this way, we have to keep on recollecting those things. We have to keep on resurfacing those things in our mind. This phase is called Mananam. When that Mananam happens properly, then what happens? Gradually, the influence of Rajo and Tamo gunas will subside and Sattva guna starts developing. The rising of Sattva guna in the heart is that rising of the sun in the sky. And the subsiding of Rajo and Tamo gunas in the heart is an indication of that subsiding of darkness in the atmosphere, right? So this is what Andal is saying, that these symptoms we are starting to observe, right? That our Rajo and Tamo gunas are gradually coming down and Sattva guna is gradually coming up. Isn't this an indication that we are ready to meet Paramatma? This is what she is asking. So when she says KeezhvAnam Endru, then basically what she is asking is, it seems like in all of us, Rajo and Tamo gunas are coming down and Sattva guna is rising. So aren't we prepared to meet God? This is the question that she is asking. The gopi inside. So shouldn't you be ready? Please come out. Please give us shelter. We'll go and meet Paramatma. Then apparently the lady inside, she might be asking a question. So even when we hear a certain discourse in the presence of a great bhagavata or something like that, when certain recitation of, Divya Prabandham, Kalakshepam is going on or something like that, Bhagavatam Kalakshepam is going on. Even during that time, it feels like, yes, my heart, the Rajoguna and Tamoguna have reduced and I'm filled with Sattvaguna. But how long does that last? It doesn't last very long, right? It is something that occurs temporarily, right? It's not a permanent reduction in Rajo and Tamogunas because, very soon, right after the class or something, immediately we'll be pulled into a Rajasic activity or a Tamasic activity. So it is not a permanent appearance, right? So therefore, the lady inside, apparently, she's asking, are you sure that you are not just looking at each other and your enthusiasm and seeing that as the rising of the sun? Maybe it's just your temporary, phenomenon that you are experiencing. Maybe it's not permanent. Maybe it's not yet light yet. In other words, she is saying that maybe you're not ready yet, right? That to meet Krishna, your hearts are still not yet ready, right? Then Andal, she is giving another sign, right? Erumai siruvidu maivan parandanahan. She is saying that just like, these buffaloes are let out for a short period of time, right? Even as soon as, what do these buffaloes represent? Buffaloes are also sort of Rajo and Tamo guna. So she's trying to answer that concern that is raised. Okay. So what happens with buffaloes? There is a temporary time for which they are released, right? They graze. And then eventually they'll be let out permanently also. After they are grazing for certain period of time, then they are milked out. And then finally they are let loose for the rest of the day to graze, right? Similarly, these Rajo and Tamogunas also, they may have temporarily left, right? It may only be an initial peace of mind that we are thinking about God. But hey, just like it happens with these buffaloes, very soon that phase will also come, right? Because we have started the right process, because we are doing the right things. We are taking shelter of Bhagavatas. We are doing all the right things. So how can that not happen? That thing will eventually happen. Can't you behold that thing will eventually happen, she is saying. And she is also saying, imagine just these animals, right? Even if animals are going after their food, we are all souls. Will the souls not go after the soul food? What is the soul food? Food for the soul is Paramatma alone, right? Soul is not a material substance, right? A material thing, if dog will aspire for a bone, right? A pig will aspire for some dirt, right? It is something that's natural for them. A human being will aspire for human food. A Chinese will aspire for Chinese food, right? An African will aspire for an African food. An Indian will aspire for Indian food. Similarly, soul will aspire for soul food. What is the soul food? Soul food is Paramatma alone. So how can, if ordinary animals are, right, as soon as it is morning, ordinary animals are going out and eating their food, then we are all souls. And the knowledge that we are the soul and not the body has awakened in us. That means you may say that is only temporary, but that identity we have understood. Then how can we not run after soul food? This is the question she is asking. And then she is saying, Mikkullai pillaigalum povan pohinrarai pogamal kaathu. That all these girls, for them, going itself is a sort of happiness. The fact that they have started the process, the fact that they are in the boat itself is a cause of happiness. The Vyakhyanas tell us that the kind of happiness that they were experiencing, because all these girls were locked up, their parents did not allow them to go until now, right? So for the first time, when these girls were let out to meet Krishna, they became very happy because officially they were granted the permission. Until now, it was unofficial. Meeting of Krishna was always unofficial for them, right? Without their parents' knowledge, they had to do. But for the first time, with the proper sanction of their parents, they were going to meet Krishna. So it's a source of great happiness. What kind of happiness they were experiencing? The happiness that Akruvara felt when Kamsa himself allowed him to go and bring Krishna, right? Akrura became so happy that previously Akrura was a devotee of Krishna. He was very devoted to Krishna. But out of fear of Kamsa, nobody ever dared to do that. But Kamsa himself allowed Akrura to go and bring Krishna. So Akrura experienced a lot of happiness. The happiness that Bharata had when he went to get Rama, because he thought that this thing is completely done. The situation is all gloom and doom outside, right? Everybody in Ayodhya hated Bharata. But he did not think that people would respond positively when he recommended that Rama should be brought back. But when everybody said that, Bharata became so ecstatic. He was so overjoyed. When Bharadwaja Maharshi and others directed to Rama, he was very happy that he was going to meet Rama. So that is the kind of happiness that these girls were experiencing. Then the question was asked, if all of you are already so happy and you are going, that you have started the process, why do you even need me? That is the question, right? Then they are trying to answer that you are a very great bhagavata. What kind of a bhagavata you are? Kodugala mudaya pavai. You are a girl whom Krishna is very, very eager to meet, right? Krishna is so eager to meet. Why is Krishna so eager to meet this particular bhagavata? What is so special about this particular bhagavata? Today's bhagavata, certain characteristics are told that this particular bhagavata specializes in akincanyatvam and ananyagatitvam. These are the two things that are present in this bhagavata. If these two things are there, akincanyatvam means not really seeing any qualification in oneself. To say that this is a sadhana that I have nothing. Yamunacharya says in Stotra Ratna, na dharmanishtosmi, na chatmavedi, na bhaktiman, tvat charanaravinде, akinchano, ananyagati, sharanya, tvat padamulam, sharanam prapadye. Why am I taking shelter of your feet, O Lord? He clarifies that na dharmanishtosmi. If I want to say that I'm a very dharmic person, no, there is no such thing that I can talk about. Many of us don't even know Dharmashastras properly. Dharmashastras have so many principles, right? From the time we wake up to the time we sleep. Smriti Granthas, they give so many dharmic injunctions. Can any one of us claim that we are following everything word to word? No. Many of us don't even know all these things. Even if we try to know, there is a lot of lag time before we start implementing something. Even if we implement them, we may follow for some time and again lose motivation to do it. So this is the nature of, being in samsara, right? just like previous people of previous yugas have claimed that they have followed Dharma Shastra, like Yudhishthira and so on, there were people who were known for following Dharma. At no point there was any aberration from following Dharma. What to speak of people like us? We don't even know what dharmas are. So there is no question of saying I'm a perfect karma yogi. I've done all my karmas that are told. No way. So that is not even a qualification. Nacha Atmavedi. Do we know who we are? We know theoretically, I am the soul, I am not the body, I belong to Paramatma, all these things. Practically, no way. We don't know anything. We can't think about these things on a day-to-day basis, moment-to-moment basis. We can't say that we are great jnana yogis. Now, Bhaktiman, can we claim that we have the love of the gopis towards the love that the gopis had towards Krishna? We don't. Can we claim that we had the love that Nammalvar had towards Krishna? We clearly don't. So, can we claim that we have the love that Andal had towards Krishna? We don't. So, that is called bhakti. But we are too far off from that quality of bhakti. So, we can't even say that bhakti is a qualification I have. Na bhaktiman tva charanaravinde. Akinchano. Therefore, I am unqualified. There is no qualification that I have where I can say that I have a qualification by which I can come to you. Ananyagatihi. Then, if you think that there is somebody else who can shelter me, no, everybody looks for qualifications. Who doesn't look for any qualification? Only your father. Your own parent does not look for any qualification. Whoever you are, they'll accept you as you are. Everybody else, for acceptance, they look for qualifications. They have certain expectations about you. Oh, if you are like this, then I will accept. If you are like this, I will accept. If they are like this, I don't want such people. In this way, they have expectations. Only your true parents have no expectations about who you are. They accept you as you are, right? Only Krishna has that kind of affinity towards all of us. No matter who we are, he'll accept us as we are, right? So because we have no other shelter, there is no other devata we can truly take shelter of, because at one point or the other, for other devatas, you have to follow our niyamas. There's no question of, I'll just pray to you, you please protect me. You can't say like this, right? There is only one person who can answer such prayers, right? Gajendra, what did he do? He didn't do anything. He cried out of, a bitter condition that he was going through. That's all he did. And then Narayana came running from Vaikuntham to save Gajendra. Draupadi, what did she do? Did she compose a new stotram at that point? She didn't do anything. She just called out to Krishna out of helplessness. Krishna came running, right? So this is, this is the nature of Krishna, that we should truly feel this akinchanyatvam and ananyagatitvam. So that kind of qualifications this particular Bhagavata has. In other words, a Bhagavata, all the Bhagavatas that we should take shelter of, they have these qualities, but we should get mentored in those aspects of akinchanyatvam and ananyagatitvam. How should we practice such things on a day-to-day basis? This is what we should learn from those Bhagavatas, how to truly feel like that. At no point feeling any pride that I have something that I want to boast about, right? How can we truly feel that I'm unqualified? This is what we should learn from Bhagavatas. Okay, this particular Gopika, she specializes in that, right? Therefore, they are saying, please get up, please come forward, okay? And then they are saying, therefore, we came and stood near your doorstep. This itself is our qualification. Our qualification is, even if we somehow or the other come to a certain Bhagavata, even if we say that I belong to such and such Acharya, right? Like this discussion was happening a few days ago, right? We were saying, we belong to such and such person's Goshti, we belong to such and such Acharya, I have such and such Acharya Sambandham, right? I came and stood at their doorsteps, right? That itself could be a qualification, right? Because on our own account, there is nothing that we can talk about. But our connection with a great Bhagavata, that identity that I belong to Nampillai Goshti, right? I belong to the Goshti of such and such Swamiji. I belong to the Goshti of such and such, Swami. In this way, when we say, then that Perumal may accept, right? So therefore, Vandan in Rome, we came and we are standing here. We are waiting here. Our coming itself is significant. Our waiting is second significance that we have. So why are we waiting? Because you are of this nature. You are very special to Krishna. Therefore, you please get up. You are actually like, when these two things are present, that is a very special qualification. So therefore, you please get up and you please protect us. Then she may say, okay, what should I do by coming? Then they are saying, Padi Paraikondu, you please sing about Krishna. That's all we want. Sing about Krishna means using these characteristics that you have, express your devotion to Krishna. That is what we want to get mentored by you. That is what we want to practice. Mavai Pidandanai Mallarai Matya Devadi Devanai Shenranam Sevital. So here we are being told about certain characteristics of Krishna. What are the things, some of the things that you could teach about Krishna? The fact that Krishna is Mavai Pidandanai. Mavai Pidandanai means he is someone who has broken open the mouth of the demon called Keshi. What is this Keshi? Right? This is Ahankaram that we have, considering the body itself to be the soul. Just like this Keshi demon prevented Krishna from reaching his devotees, from meeting his devotees, even Ahankaram prevents us from reaching Paramatma. Right? So this Ahankaram has to be subdued. Ahamkaram means basically thinking this body to be the soul, right? That should completely go away from us. That also Krishna alone can do, right? So this we are being taught, right? Again, this is the point, right? Thinking that I can get rid of Ahankaram is also thinking that I have a qualification. Accepting that Krishna alone can get rid of my Ahankaram also is full dependence on Krishna, okay? So they are just providing examples of how they want to practice certain things from this particular Bhagavata. And then Mallarai Matya, we have to get rid of certain dualities. These Mallas, Mushtika and Chanura were two Mallas whom Krishna has subdued, right? So such dualities exist in us. Like Mushtika and Chanura, there are certain dualities like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. In this way, there are several dualities which are all bad qualities in us. These things have to be subdued, right? That's when Sattva Guna gets established in the mind completely. A phase where Paramatma remains in the heart all the time, right? But how do we get to that phase? How do we get rid of all these dualities? Those also Paramatma alone has to subdue in us, right? Again, expressing that full dependence on Paramatma, right? Ananya Gatitvam, Akincanyatvam, right? Can he really do? Is he really capable of doing all these things? What if, he tries to do and one of these qualities happens to be superior to him? We may get those doubts. What if there is something in among these things that he cannot subdue? Therefore, it is being told, Devadi Devanai, that the word Deva also means Indriyas. Okay? Because the nature of each Devata, if you see the Aitreya Upanishad and all these things, they tell us that these Indriyas, the presiding deity for each Indriya is a certain Devata, right? So Devadi Devan means someone, the presiding deity of all the Indriyas is the mind. Mind is the leader of all Indriyas. Then the soul is the leader of the mind. As told in Bhagavad Gita, ultimately, Paramatma is higher than the soul is higher than the and mind is higher than the senses. This particular sequence is told in Upanishads also. Okay. So what is being indicated is that none of these things, aspects of Prakriti, are actually superior. Paramatma is superior to all these things. So he can completely subdue them. Okay. So no other Devata is actually supreme. Paramatma is superior to all the Devatas. That means Paramatma is superior to all the Indriyas. He can control all the Indriyas. All the bad qualities can be subsided. He alone can do it because he alone has full control over everything that is going on. Okay. So this is therefore Nam Sevittal. If we serve such a person, then what happens? He will become very compassionate. Just like he became compassionate when the sages of Dandakaranya, they were coming to him to tell how much they were suffering, Rama became ashamed. He became abashed, thinking that these people had to come to me and tell me for me to realize that they were suffering. Oh no, he was thinking that I should have been more proactive. How could have this happened? In this way, Paramatma feels when we, out of helplessness, we approach Paramatma. We have just talked about how Paramatma subdues this, and all that. We may still have these doubts lingering in our heart. How do we know that Paramatma truly subsides these things? Does he, he appears, Archamurti appears as if it has no reaction whatsoever. No matter what we pray, it just remains like that. So we may get that doubt. Will that Paramatma even respond to my prayers? How Paramatma responds to our prayers, Andal is trying to explain in this last line, that Paramatma responds with compassion. He actually has feelings. Paramatma has feelings. He's not just a stone, right? He is not a feelingless person. Sometimes we think that someone who is very great, someone who is above dualities has no feelings whatsoever. That is wrong. Someone who is above dualities means that their feelings are under their control. That's what it means. It doesn't mean they have no feelings. Nammalvar had feelings. All the great Bhagavatas had feelings, right? It's not that they were feelingless. Similarly, Paramatma also has feelings. He feels. His feelings are completely documented in Kishkindha Kandam. How much he feels for jivas. As he was searching for Sita Devi, right in the beginning, we see how much Paramatma feels for jivas, right? In this way, he actually feels for our sufferings, right? When the sages came, he actually felt. When Guha came to receive Rama, and Guha told that I have come all the way to receive you, Rama said, your coming itself is such a thing. Do you need to do anything else to provide this hospitality to me? I don't really need anything else beyond this, right? This is what Rama was saying. And sometimes, we may say that if Paramatma feels so much for our sufferings, then why doesn't he answer our prayers immediately? Why does he take time to respond? He may have his reasons to take time to respond to our prayers, but even for that he feels. Just like in the case of Bharata, Bharata came and petitioned in front of Rama. But Rama said, I will take time to respond to your request, right? But although he said that he will take time to respond to his request, he still felt in his heart that Shirasa Yachatastasya Vachanam Nakritam Maya. Although Bharata came and he bowed down in front of me and he prayed to me, I declined his request. In this way, Paramatma feels in his heart. He may have some reasons why he's withholding something so that it doesn't come to us immediately. The prayer is not apparently answered immediately, but he will answer the prayer, right? He may just take time to respond to that prayer. Why he is taking time, he cannot explain to us immediately. That reason he will not say. But he may take time. But because he is taking time, he also feels for us that in the meantime, we have to suffer from this, right? And then what if we may say that, okay, all these, you're talking about Bharata, you're talking about Guha, sages of Dandakaranya, all these people had so much qualification. I have no qualification. In fact, I have only all bad qualifications. Will I be protected by Paramatma? This is our final doubt. Yes, even for that, someone who was like Kakasura came and he was trying to hurt Sita Devi, who was very dear to Rama. But even that Kakasura, finally, after roaming here and there and everywhere, that Kakasura came and fell on the feet of Rama. Then it is told Kripaya Paryapalayat, that even that Kakasura was actually shown compassion. That means there is always the mother, Lakshmi Devi, Sita Devi, who is right next to him, who always keeps providing that grace, even if Paramatma becomes angry. Lakshmi Devi is there to tell him that, no, you shouldn't become angry because these are all our children, right? What else will they do? Papanam va, shubhanam va, vadharhanam plavangama, karyam karunamaryena na kaschin naparadhyati. She says to Hanuma that no matter who they are, no matter how sinful they are, no matter what they are, it is our nature to show only compassion to them. Let us show compassion. Let us forgive them. Let us shelter them. This is the nature of Paramatma. Therefore, Arul, he graces us. He definitely shows compassion to us. This is our beautiful Vratam. So, one final time, we'll go through KeezhvAnam Vella Nerumai Sirveeda, Meivan Parandanagan, Mikula Pillaigalum, Povan, Pohinrarai, Pogamal Kat, Unnai Kuvuvan, Mandanin Rom. So, KeezhvAnam Vella Erumai Sirveeda means, KeezhvAnam Vella means it is saying that Rajo and Tamagunas have to subside and Sattvaguna has to arise in our heart. So, Andal is feeling that maybe that has happened in me, right? That means in all of us, we may feel that way. Then again, next thing is being told that what if the Gopika inside asks, maybe that is a temporary phenomenon. Andal is answering back, no, it's not temporary. Even if you feel that it is temporary, eventually we are on the right path, right? We are proceeding on the right path. We are just happy to be on this path, right? Just like these buffaloes, they are grazing this, but eventually they'll go out and graze, permanently keep grazing for the rest of the day. Similarly, we also will eventually hanker after our soul food. Although today we may be hankering after material things, we are under the shelter of Bhagavata, so definitely we will aspire for soul food eventually, right? That is what she is indicating. And the fact that we have come to you and we are standing here is itself an indication that we will get there eventually. So this is what she is clarifying. Then Kodagalamudaya Pavai Edundirai. You have a special qualification. You have Akinchanatvam, Akinchanyatvam, and Ananyagatitvam. These are the special qualifications because of which you are very dear to Krishna. Therefore, you please guide us in these aspects. You please come out of your meditation and guide us. What should you do? You just sing about Krishna. Sing about how he is capable of doing all kinds of things, right? He is someone who is capable of subduing our ahankara, right? Mavai pidandanai, right? It is not us who are capable of removing our ahankara. He alone is capable of doing it. Mallare Matia, it is not us who is capable of removing all the dualities in us, like Kama, Krodha, and so on. Only He can do that. He is, after all, Devadi Devan. He is, after all, the master of all these senses and the mind and the entire body. So He can take care of anything. Therefore, Chandranam, Nam Shevittal, therefore, approaching Him, let us serve Him. By serving, definitely His grace will fall on us, because after all, He has always graced everybody, right? So our prayers will definitely be answered. So let us go to Him. In this way, Andal is saying, once again, thank you for being there. I apologize for delaying this so much today. Thank you, everybody. Andal Tiruvadagale Sharanam. Jai Sriman. Embermanar Tiruvadagale Sharanam. Periyajiyar Tiruvadagale Sharanam. Yes, if anybody has anything they want to share or ask, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll have.
Jai
Swami. Nappuneji, I'll let you go first.
No, Ramya, please, please.
Ayyo, no problem, Madian. I'll let you go first. Please.
Okay, dear. Swami, what reminds me when you said Perumal is more apologetic or more looking forward to us, many times more than we looking out for him, right, Swami? So is it something like we can say when Sita Devi said, if Rama doesn't come and rescue me in 1 month, I will commit suicide. By hanging in this tree, very tree. But Rama, when he hears that from Anjaneya Swami, I mean from Hanuman, he says, "Oh my God, she can live for 1 month without me. I cannot even live with a second without her.
Right.
How is she dare? I mean, how is she brave enough to say that?
Right.
Is that something that we can draw parallels?"
Absolutely. That's actually a beautiful realization you are sharing, right? Paramatma is even more eager to protect us and have us back than we are eager to approach him. Right? This is the quality that you brought out by sharing this beautiful anecdote. So it is like we are all lost property, right? The Swami is more interested in the property than the property itself, right? It's like when we lose a wallet, the owner of the wallet is more interested in getting the wallet back than the wallet is eager to approach the owner, right? So it is like that. Definitely, Paramatma is much more eager to bring us all back, and in fact, that is the reason why he has those red eyes all the time. Why does he have red eyes? Means he's ever compassionate, looking at us, looking at samsaris like all of us. Despite having so many people in Paramapadam that he can enjoy his time with, his attention is always on all of us. Just like when a mother or a parents have multiple children, but one of their children is disabled or they have certain challenge, that physically disabled in some way, naturally the parents' attention will be much more on such a child compared to children who are, normal in every way, right? So in this way, Paramatma's attention also will be on samsaris much more than those in Paramapadam, because we are the people who require the most help.
Radiant Swami, thank you, Swami. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I think in Bhagavad Gita, I mean, in Bhagavad Gita also, Rukmini Devi, it's a conversation between Rukmini Devi and Krishna, right? The same conversation happens, right, Swami?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she is brave to write a letter to me, whereas when I think of her itself, I'm crying, so I won't be able to utter a word. So that shows the Jivatma and the Paramatma's relation. Radiant Swami.
Ready.
Jai Shrimananda Swami.
Yes.
Today's session, when you were saying, I was reflecting on the arrogance part. For example, like there's so many times we fall into the trap, but then we keep thinking, oh, I have done so much, I have done this puja, or I have done that. Like Paramatma didn't give me this, or these vices like kama, krodha, mada, matsaryam, like all these, we keep going through phases. At least I keep going through those phases, and um, keep thinking like, oh, Paramatma didn't give me what I want. Like, Perumal, why is he doing like this? Sometimes I get angry. Sometimes, like probably I won't do it for some time. I'm like, I'm gonna give a break to this. This is not helping. But when I look back at the journey and I look back at what I have, where I am so far compared to what I thought I would be, Paramatma was always actually compassionate, and he exactly gave me what I needed at that point of time. But I feel like you said, the lost souls, for us it's very hard to see that, because the painter has a majestic painting in his mind, right? So
Absolutely.
he's thinking of a beautiful painting he wants to do, but we are stuck with that one, like some tree, some brown comes and we're like, I don't like this color, like why is Paramatma doing this?
Yes.
And we are not capable enough to see the big picture.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's and it's very wonderful, like how, like a father, he's always like watching out for us. But
Mm.
as like naughty kids, like people like me have trouble, like staying connected and having like faith in his vision. So that's one thing I'll keep reminding myself, don't lose that faith in Perumal. Like there is a vision of Perumal. There is something he's trying to create, something wonderful out of every one of us, and we
Yes.
just have to trust his vision.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Sometimes, one more thing I want to add to what you said, right? When a beautiful statue has to be made, the stone has to be hit hard at multiple places. All of those knocks might appear very painful, but eventually a beautiful statue will come out of it. Right? Same is the case with clay. Clay has to be beaten at so many places in so many shapes and sizes for a beautiful china clay, substance to come out of it. Similarly, it appears that we are going through a school of hard knocks, right? But eventually, our faith, like Andal is expressing, is that we are under the shelter of Bhagavatas. We have taken the right process. So good things will definitely happen to us, right? Krishna says in multiple places, Kaunteya pratijanihi namaya bhakta pranashyati. In Bhagavad Gita, he says that, right? That my devotee will never be vanquished. Kaunteya, you please declare this, he tells to Arjuna. And he also says, Nahi Kalyanakrit Kaschit Durgatim Tata Gachati. That for someone who is engaged in auspicious activities, Durgati they will never attain. So these are some of the promises of Krishna that we have to keep repeatedly remembering whenever things seem very dark and gloomy in our lives, and when things seem very uncertain and all such things happen.
Amazing, Swami. Also, those two qualities you mentioned about the Bhagavata today, one of it is knowing or realizing that we are not qualified enough. Can you once help me with the second one, Swami? I missed the second one.
Ananya Gatitvam means not seeing anything else as taking shelter of, worth taking shelter of. Because nobody
Oh.
else can give us shelter, truly shelter us, for two reasons, right? Because we lack any qualification, others will feel like they cannot shelter us, right? If we try to approach other devatas or someone in this world too, not just other devatas all the time, right? Others may not be able to help us in all circumstances. For someone to be able to offer that help, they should have the capacity to help, and they should have the compassion to help. There are people in this world who have the compassion but do not have the capacity. There are people who have the capacity but lack that compassion, right? Sometimes people have capacity and compassion but we have no relationship with them, therefore we can't even approach them. In this way, there are different reasons, or out of every circumstance, who can always protect us? Is there a gati, right? That is the question. When we say Ananya Gati, there is only one person who can always protect us in every circumstance at all times because of his eternal connection with all of us. So, feeling that thing really from our heart, that I really have no other shelter but him, that he alone can actually protect me under all circumstances unfailingly.
Amazing, amazing, Swami. Thank you for clarifying. When
Ready?
you have time, Swami, yeah, maybe, at the end, once we are through the all 10 Bhagavatas, if you can give these synopsis of what each Bhagavata, is teaching us, I think it'll just help kind of keep revising, at least for people like me.
Sure, sure.
Because it's very beautiful. Like so far, like the first Bhagavata was deeply contemplating on the Lord, was deep meditation. The
Right,
second Bhagavata yesterday, you said like she has like the jnanam and you can see anushtanam also. So she's teaching us to implement what
right,
we know.
right,
She's encouraging us to implement what we know in life. Like
right,
today's Bhagavata is saying, regardless of how much ever anushtanam we are doing, always know that we are not qualified enough,
right,
have that firmly rooted in our heart,
right,
and also realize that he's the only one
right.
in whom we can take shelter.
Unfailingly, he can protect us at all times. And thank you, Ramya ji, for actually summarizing that, right? You put it very nicely. This point is very important, right? It is not that when we say we have akinchanyatvam, we actually give up our dharmas and therefore we say I'm, akinchana, right? Anushtanam should be there, but we don't depend on our anushtanam, our defective anushtanam, and see that as the means for our, you know, deliverance, right? Our defective anushtanam can never become the means for deliverance. But then why should we even do it? Because Krishna says, even in the 18th chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yogaha, he says, Sadosham api natyajet. Even though your performance of these duties is defective, don't give up, he says. So simply as following an order of the Lord, we do them to the best of our ability, even if it is defective, to the best of our comprehension. But that's okay because we are not seeing that as the means. Ultimately, He is the means. That is the understanding.
Amazing. Thank you, Swami. Jai Shri Manarana.
Jai Shri Ram. Anything else from anybody else that they want to ask or share?
Thank you, Adian. Anika Dasoham.
Adiyan, thank you.
Jai Shri Manarayana, Swami, we are taking leave with your
Adiyan,
permission.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Please come.
Adiyan.
Jai Shri Manarayana.
Jai Shri Manarayana. Jai Shri.
Adiyan Dasan, Jai Shri.
Adiyan Dasan. Jai Shri.
Jai Shri Manarayana.
Jai Shri Manarayana Srinidhi. Thank you.